Nephthys is a Kemetic deity associated with funerary process. She is the sister of Auset, Ausar, and Auset, who was also her consort. She is the offspring of Geb, who was the earth spirit, and Nut, who was the sky goddess, as described under the Enid ideology explained by the Kemetic priestess of Heliopolis. Nephthys is depicted as a human woman wearing a crown in the style of the hieroglyphic form of a mansion, which is a translation of her name, but she can also take the form of a hawk. Just an intriguing role that she plays in what we would call the Kemetic pantheon. Again, this is a deity whose origin is from Canis Major. She is a defining member of this Enid, being at the crux of this battle between chaos and order as represented through Set and his brother Ausar. And as Ausar was going out into the world and spreading knowledge and developing civilization, Set represented a force that was destructive for that. And his time in rule after Ausar's death signifies that there was chaos in the land. So Nephthys plays the role in that she is intimately connected to each of these characters. Her being the consort of Set. Another aspect of Set was that he represented the desert, which was infertility. And and Nephthys was very much like her sister Auset, a very powerful, a very beautiful goddess, and she wanted to have that mothering experience. So she wanted to have something to love, because Set was not capable of doing these things, as we see his representation to show. And so you can imagine this goddess who is every bit as powerful and as beautiful as her sister, who ultimately gets rejected. So she goes through a massive amount of rejection for a goddess who is just absolutely incredible in what her nature is. So because of this desire to bear a child, she has a liaison with her brother Ausar, and they produce the god that we would call Anpu. And just like Anubis, she is associated with the underworld and funerary texts, and in her role, she is a comforter. She guides people through and helps comfort you, understanding the passage through the transition from this world into the next. And she's a massively complex goddess in the fact that she remains very loyal to her sister. She really proves to be Auset's best friend and really her right hand, as she is the one who, throughout it, helps her find these 13 dismembered parts of her husband's body after Set had slain him. So she's integral in that. And she's also there as support as they're doing the spell to Ausar back to life. So she's critical of that. It's her son who performs the first mummification that assists in bringing Ausar back to life. And from that union, we would get the god Heru. And Heru, of course, was always a threat to Seth's rule. Again, the idea of chaos being overcome by Heru. And she had to keep him in hiding. So Auset kept Heru in hiding because she knew that Set would attack him if he knew that he existed. And Nephthys was again loyal and dedicated, and proves herself not only be this dedicated sister, but also this fast and true aunt who helps protect even against her husband. So, within that, I feel like she always has been kind of overwhelmed by the shadow of, obviously Set, who is her consort, and this powerful, dark deity of chaos and storm. Of course, her liaison with Ausar, who is, this god who spread knowledge. And then in the shadow of her sister, who is the goddess of magic, who is the queen of the throne. So let's remember who Nephthys is. She is also known as Lady of the House, Mistress of the Palace, Protector of the Dead, the Revealer, Mistress of the Gods, Great Goddess, Lady of Light, Sister of the God, Lady of Heaven, Mistress of Two Lands. And she has been much revered throughout history, called by many names. The most significant component of Nephthys is that despite what we would show as some form of tragedy throughout her history, it kind of seems to make her more of a relatable goddess, someone that we can all understand, having endured, this loss and this conflict in her own life. So to know that this goddess is there for you as you enter the afterlife, if you've done the right things, that Nephthys is a goddess who's going to help you along the way, who's going to comfort you on your passage. So again, as we look at this wonderful goddess, if you want to make her happy or show loyalty to this goddess, her sacred animals include apes, dogs, hawks, horses, kites, snakes, and vultures. Her sacred plant is the lily, and her sacred stones are pearls, rubies, and star sapphires. Thank you for joining us again at Nine World Chronicles as we explore more mythologies and their connections to us and our history.